Change your life. You have read about the things you need to do to change your life. You have written them down, and for the first 2 weeks of going along with the plan, things are looking up. In fact, you have a very good feeling that you will become a master of your destiny in no time. Unfortunately, you find yourself slipping back into your old ways. You always seem to fall, and now you feel more frustrated and annoyed with yourself. Wouldn't it be nice to stick to a plan and succeed at it? If you have started on this journey and are finding it difficult to become who you want to be, this video is for you. How do you change your life? What are the important things you need to take note of? In this video, we will be discussing the concept of changing your life and how it works. You will soon find out why you can't seem to stick to the plan you've laid out to have a changed life. Nearly everyone on the planet has lofty dreams and aspirations for their lives, and oftentimes, there is a wide gap between the person they want to become and the person they are at the moment. Surely, it would be nice to keep your room clean, study more, eat healthy, and exercise regularly while solving the mysteries that would change the world forever. We all want to be a change agent, but achieving that can be a hassle. Achieving one's goals sometimes feels like you must become someone different. Consistency, commitment, discipline, and willpower are all needed. The first thing to note is that change is hard. It doesn't come easy. Now that you know that, the next thing you need to understand is how it works. If you understand how change works, it will become easier for you to navigate through your journey, and you won't feel so frustrated. So, how does change work? To understand this, you need to understand how habits are formed. After all, changing means doing something different from what you would normally do. The human brain is like a lush and dense jungle. Deciding to do something is like moving through an actual jungle, in this case, your brain. It is hard and it costs energy. Unfortunately, your brain hates expending energy, so it comes up with a trick. It makes sure that all your actions and behaviors leave paths behind. Here is how it works. As you do something, you trample down plants in this jungle and make rough, improvised trails through the undergrowth. The more often you take a certain action, the more pronounced the trail becomes. With time, the trails become a clear path, and it's easier for you to navigate this jungle. Since it's easier, you take it more often. It grows from a path to a street, and over the years, the street turns into a highway. This action becomes effortless, comfortable, and familiar. Now, the more pronounced the highway is, the easier it is to get used to this comfort. Comfort is good, and everyone would rather choose to be comfortable than otherwise. This simple analogy explains why changing your life can be difficult, especially as an adult. To further explain how these highways are built, it is important to know the difference between routines and habits. Simply put, a routine is a series of actions that you carry out the same way every time. This is usually because they have worked out well for you over time. For instance, you could repeat the same actions in the morning, like taking a short walk and then listening to music. You do this in this order because it works for you. Another example is if you set up your morning alarm the night before because you want to get up at a certain time, routines are usually executed wisely. It is slow and analytical. Routines are responsible for strategizing and your mental calculations. The part of your brains that comes with your routines is aware of the future and considers the kinds of results you want. It chooses actions to achieve definite outcomes based on the desired results. These actions may be uncomfortable when you start. Over time, routines turn into habits, and these actions become much easier to achieve. Habits are simply a series of actions that you carry out without having to think about them. These actions have been done so often that your brain considers them rewarding and a great response to a situation. So the things you do habitually are like things on autopilot. You don't need to motivate yourself to do habitual things. It is important to note that habits are set in motion by triggers. These are context clues that could either be a single thing or an entire situation. They give your brain the signal to start doing something. The truth is, as humans, we already have a lot of triggers in our lives, and those triggers are not necessarily good. For instance, when you see your phone, the first signal you'll get is to unlock it. A good trigger is reaching for your seatbelt once you sit in the car. While your routines are slow and analytical, habits are impulsive. Habits usually respond to your immediate desires. These desires are largely influenced by what is around you at the moment. There are no goal considerations involved. It is just gratification. This part of you hates hard work and doesn't care about the future. So, even if your brain notices a trigger, this side of you steers you to take the easier path, the highway. So, if you want to work on your phone, this impulsive side would rather you waste away time watching funny videos. This is how most of your bad habits started. It's more entertaining to watch funny videos on your phone than to read an article for an assignment. Because these habits are easy, you find yourself repeating them even though you know they may not be good for you. Now, it seems that these two sides are opposite, but in truth, they work well together. Routines are needed to analyze and to think big thoughts. Mundane and repetitive tasks can be handled by your habits. That way, you can deal with more complex and mentally challenging things while going about your daily dealings. Understanding the concept makes it easy for you to change your lives. We can employ these energy-saving mechanisms to make it easier. So, how do you do that? You simply need to focus on the small things. Yes, it would be cool to come up with an idea that will save the world, but you can always start from the easy ones, like cleaning your room, and then go on to cleaning your life. The journey of changing your life is like a marathon. The goal is to make it to the finish line. If you start by sprinting, you will definitely burn out your energy before getting to the middle of the race. You may even fall out of the race completely. Changing your life means taking little steps over a long period. It could be months or even years. If you want to change a habit, the best way to go is not by exacting willpower. You need to convince your brain that what you are about to do is not a big deal. You need to create new routines and stay with them long enough till they turn into habits. So, you need to plan and construct that trail in the jungle and then let your brain build patterns that'll turn that trail into a highway. So, what would you like to achieve? Let's say you want to start eating healthy. The first thing to do will be to break down that goal into clear, separate actions. The idea is to make the idea as easy a threshold as possible. The breakdown needs to be small enough to be manageable and specific enough that you don't have to do a lot of thinking while at it. So, a manageable and easy task might be eating fruits every day. Now, you can do that by incorporating clear triggers that your brain needs to pick up on to turn the action into a habit. Remember that triggers are things that your brain attaches to certain action that you do repeatedly. It could be a visual object or the pattern in which something is done. So, instead of eating fruits just at any time of the day, you could eat your fruits after breakfast or after lunch. Once you repeat it over time, your brain picks this signal, and whenever you eat breakfast or lunch without taking fruit, it automatically feels like something is missing. You can do this with every other thing you would like to change, and you would be amazed at the changes your life will experience.